Welcome back. Well, the market looks like it's going to open on the back foot today. The SGX Nifty is down about 40 odd points. But it's a big day of trade today. Even tomorrow, you have a lot of big numbers coming through tomorrow. There's SBI, ITC, Bata that report their earnings. So plenty of stocks in focus. It's the fag end of the earnings season. So let's get straight to that. Bharti Airtel reported numbers yesterday post-market hours. Reema's here to tell us how the numbers look. Reema, morning.
Thanks so much for that. So for Bharti Airtel, it was a revenue miss, but margins and profits have come in line with expectations, in fact, slightly ahead. So on the top line, the company has delivered a consolidated revenue growth of just 0.5% versus estimates of 2%. The miss on the top line has come in on account of the India wireless mobile business, where the revenue growth has come in at 1%, lower than consensus expectations, and also trailing its peer Reliance Jio. That said, at the margin level, the company has put up a strong showing. Margins, in fact, have improved by 20 basis points to 52.2%. We were anticipating a bit of a decline. So effective cost control has really resulted in strong margins. Profits, consequently, are up nearly 90% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. But remember, the prior quarter, Q3, had an exceptional loss. The other miss in the numbers, apart from the miss on the top line, is the fact that ARPUs have been flat. The street was hoping for some ARPU improvement, the average revenue per user, because the company had initiated very sharp entry-level tariffs over the last couple of months. But that's not flowed through at the ARPU level. So ARPU at 193 is unchanged on a sequential basis. That's a bit of a miss. But on the flip side, the subscriber addition numbers continue to remain very healthy. Back to you.
All right, Reema, thanks very much for that. We have a discussion with the analyst lined up. Balaji Subramanian of IIFL Securities will be talking to us about the results and what you should do with the stock in a bit from now. Nigel, but JSPL reported numbers?
Well, JSPL, the stock has been weak of late, and the numbers were actually lower than what we were working with. On the top line, though, it was a little bit higher, but that's because realizations were higher. But that's where the good news ends, because the EBITDA number missed expectations by quite a mark. A few factors that played out. They had an inventory write-down out there, so that was 1 point of around 250 crores approximately. The second factor was they have been purchasing iron ore in Odisha, where they have their operations, and Odisha pricing was higher than what NMDC is pricing as well. So higher iron ore cost, and the benefit of coal didn't really flow through. So put those factors together, that's why the EBITDA did miss estimates. The profit number, well, that as well did miss estimates. The sales volumes, though, were higher on a sequential basis. On a year-on-year basis, though, they were lower by close to around 2% because they had an unplanned shutdown at one of their facilities. Export percentage as a percentage of sales, well, that's moved up, telling you the export market is reviving out there. But the EBITDA per ton, that came in much lower than what we were working with, missed by close to around 1,500 rupees odd because of the factors I just mentioned. And the PAT number, the miss was more, even though we had an operating miss because depreciation was higher. They took a write-off in the Australian mining operations, so that's what hurt them. And also we had an exceptional loss of around 150 crores because of write-off in some projects. Debt number came down marginally, but the management has said the debt number will not balloon off here. Remember, they're taking a big expansion in their facilities, so expect the stock to open up in the red. Valuation-wise, yes, it's always been attractive, but let's see how this goes. Sonal joins us, though, to tell us about BPCL. Morning, Sonal.
Good morning, Nigel. Well, BPCL will be in focus because board has approved a massive capex. It will be to the tune of 52,000 crore rupees approximately. Three set of capex that the company has announced. One is at their Bina refinery, which is for setting up an ethylene project, and this will also be for upgradation of their Bina refinery as well. It will be costing 49,000 crore rupees here. Additionally, they will also be putting up 250 megawatt wind power projects. This is for captive consumption, both at their Bina refinery and their Mumbai refinery as well. And the total capex here will be to the tune of 800 crore rupees for the company. That is not it. They are also setting up third project for the company, and totaling all of that, that will be to the tune of 52,000 crore rupees. Now remember, company has a debt in their books at around 68,000 crore rupees, and they will also be putting out their results. They will also be reporting the results on 22nd of May. So because of all this, BPCL will be in focus today.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Sonal. Well, Abhishek is with us. He's tracking a couple of names. There's Credit Access Grameen, there's LIC Housing Finance. Abhishek, over to you.
Well, Sonia, good numbers coming in from Credit Access Grameen. The gross NPA ratio has improved to 1.21% when compared to 1.71% in the previous quarter. The disbursal growth is robust at 48% quarter-on-quarter. So the AUM growth is healthy on account of robust disbursals as well. AUM growth is at 26.7% YOY and about 18.24% sequentially. We are seeing a higher, amount of disbursals flowing into AUM. So that's leading the AUM growth. Customer base is back to pre-COVID levels or higher than pre-COVID levels, coming in at 42.64 lakh, up about 11.62% and about 8.25% quarter-on-quarter. The net interest margin is at 8-quarter high of 12.2%. For LIC Housing Finance, after a long time, we are seeing net interest margin expand. So net interest margin has expanded by about 28 basis point YOY and about 51 basis point on a sequential basis. The pain in disbursals continued, like we saw in Q3. Disbursals in Q4 have declined YOY and quarter-on-quarter. AUM growth that remains tepid at just 2.5% sequentially and less than 10% on a YOY basis. Asset quality on seasonal basis has improved in Q4 at 4.27% when compared to 4.75% in the previous quarter, and their PNL both in terms of NI and PAT is a beat on our poll. Back to you.
Okay, and Abhishek, thanks very much for that. Credit Access Grameen, of course, will be with us at 9:40 this morning. Numbers, as Abhishek pointed out, a good set. We'll talk about outlook going forward with the management. Now, more results for the quarter. Ekta has got that list. She's standing by. Ekta, morning.
Thanks for that. Well, I'll start with Metropolis. The revenue was down 7.6%. The street was anticipating a 2% decline. The margins came in at around 25%. Street was anticipating over 25% in terms of margins, and a revenue and a profit which was 33.3 crores. The street was anticipating close to 40 crores in terms of profit. So maybe the stock would be in the red. The call is at 9 a.m. so the commentary would be important. Redington, revenue up 26%, EBITDA 2.5%. Profit, however, down around 11%. And V-Mart, there's a net loss of around 37 crores, which is expanded on a year-on-year basis, but the revenue is up around 29%. I presume that the net loss is probably going to weigh on the stock this morning. So expect all three of these stocks to be in the red.
Thanks a lot, Ekta, for that. Well, lots of numbers coming through since it is the fag end of the earnings season. Surabhi is here with some more Q4 results. Surabhi, over to you.
Thanks so much for that. So first on my radar is Amber Enterprises. It was a strong set of numbers by them. It was a strong performance across all segments. The revenues were up 55%. The EBITDA was up 62%. The EBITDA margin was higher by 30 basis points, came in at 6.8% versus 6.5% same time last year. And the net profit was up 82%, came in at 108 crores. Now the RAC and the component segment, which is 80% of their revenues, there the revenues were up 55%. The profitability was up 54%, and the margins were maintained at 6%. Next on my radar is JK Papers. The numbers were better than estimates, but there was some sequential decline on the EBITDA margin front, but that was on expected lines. The revenues were up 28%, the EBITDA was up 44%, and the margins have come in at 28% versus 25% same time last year. Now, the management has said that higher volumes along with increased realizations has led to a better operating performance, although they have witnessed reduced selling prices in certain product segments, but that is in line with the global prices.
All right. Thanks a lot to our entire research team for joining in and helping us prep for the day. Here's a quick recap in case you missed out on any stocks. Stocks with positive news flow, there's BPCL, Credit Access Grameen, LIC Housing Finance, Amber Enterprises and JK Paper. While stocks with negative news flow, there's Bharti Airtel, JSPL, Redington, Metropolis and V-Mart Retail. Okay, let's also get a quick grip on what's happening in the world of commodities. There's plenty happening every day. So Manisha is here as always to give us a roundup of all the action there. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you for that. Well, yeah, the crude oil prices have seen a decline for a second straight day on a surprise inventory build-up in U.S., up by nearly 3.6 million barrels. And then you have weak economic data from U.S. and China. The G7 meeting in Japan on May 19th and 21st, where G7 is looking to target sanction evasions involving third countries. There have been statements from Europe against India as well. So that really seems to be pulling prices down in the markets right now. And we are trading below $75 per barrel yet again. The metals as well have extended decline on weak economic data from China. You have copper prices back at 5-month lows. Zinc is trading at October 2020 lows. We also have seen the gold prices come off from its highs. It's broken below $2,000 per ounce. It's trading at a 2-week lows as well. The strength in US dollar index is yet another reason that's weighing on many of these commodities.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. That's commodities in focus. More on that later. We take a break here. We will be speaking with our first management of the show. Granules India reported numbers, inline set of numbers for the fourth quarter. But there's other stuff like increase in their capex for F524, which the market is focused on. We have the management joining us after the break. Deven Chokshi, as promised, will also be joining in just a bit. Lots of stocks to get his views on and how they start trade. Stay with us.